everyone, this is Avery JV back to you with another review. Today we are going to be taking a look at my very first statue review of what will be permanently my reviewing habits. I am going to focus solely on statues, sometimes paintings, mostly prints, not necessarily the original paintings themselves. I refer to the Sideshow Collectibles prints. I have a habit of calling them paintings because it feels nicer for some odd reason. But anyways, this is a new type of video. I have a lot of new equipment for this, and I would like to know everybody's thoughts in the comments below. After you've seen the whole video, please give me your honest thoughts, whether or not the sound quality is an upgrade from previous videos, whether or not the video quality is an upgrade at all, and whether or not you think the statue reviews, the way they're being done, is something you would like to see consistently in the future, or if you have suggestions of your own. Thank you for that, and let's get on with the video. So first off, we're going to look at it from a distance, because most people are going to display their collectibles at a distance. They're not going to be handling them every single day. Given the expense of these pieces, it's not necessarily a good idea to constantly pick them up, because you can break them, you can chip them, you can wear down the paint with the oils on your fingers. Speaking of, I would suggest these 100% cotton gloves. You can find these gloves at your local Hobby Lobby, where you find coin collecting items. It's a very odd place to find them, but it is necessary, because coin collecting, you don't want your fingerprints all over coins that are super shiny and reflective. Same thing with statues. You do not want to rub the oils on your fingers all over a statue that's been delicately hand painted. And you do not have to follow that suggestion, but it's an idea thrown out there just in case you would like the extra protection. This is roughly a $600 piece if you consider taxes and shipping. I can't remember the retail price off the top of my head, but I don't want to give that out anyways, because everybody's located in different places. Everybody has their own price point they are going to have to pay for this. Now, taking a look at it from afar, you can see it is a very nice piece. You can definitely tell there are colors in it. You do have to actually pay attention to it to notice most of the colors. However, what we would like to discuss first at the distance is that shade of blue. The shade of blue over this black statue gives it a nice lively feel, gives it that comic book appearance. Not necessarily the animated appearance, because that's cell shading. This gives it the appearance of light hitting the areas that are not blocked underneath, such as in his torso. His torso is black with some shading, but very little. Whereas anywhere the moonlight would be hitting, in this particular instance, that's where you would see all these highlights. So if you pose him in a way where the light is mostly focused in this direction, you're going to get a little bit more realism out of your statue. However, that's just a suggestion. Down here below, you can see the cathedral. As far as I'm aware, this is a cathedral, the top of one. If that is incorrect, please let me know. I would like to know if I'm wrong about that. I didn't do any necessary research, because I don't believe this is based on something explicitly. I believe it's just a concept of the symbiote. Now, you will see symbiote pieces forming at the top here. You will see them forming here and here. Those are all separate pieces you must attach yourself. You can see this whole section has been broken down. The two women that are displayed normally right there have been crushed to pieces and pieces, covered with symbiotic goo, and there's symbiote crawling and oozing down the sides as if it's spilling off of him. It's a very creepy instance. This is a good piece for the Halloween occasion. It is around that time of year. This is the appropriate time to purchase a statue like this. You can see the white has been shaded with grays and blacks. The spores in his wrists, in the top of his hands where he can shoot his webs such as that, are sculpted, raised, and aimed sort of at an angle so that it could actually shoot out. They are not just painted holes, they are not sculpted flat or straight up. It's at an angle, an organic angle. And I like that. The spider logo is also sculpted all the way. There is subtle veining in the black and blue portions, so it feels like there's veins poking through, so you know that this is not the homemade version of the black suit. This is the actual living symbiote version of the black suit. You can see his eyes have shading in the bottom, and that further accents the idea that the light is above him, and this is more hidden underneath. The eyes are protruding, which gives it a very scary appearance. He's prowling, crouching forward, maybe waiting for Kraven to take his revenge. It could be him looking for Shocker to chase him up a church clock tower. It was a bell tower. He chased him up a bell tower. If you don't know what I'm referring to, please look up Symbiote Spider-Man chasing Shocker animated scene. It is a funny clip because the voice actor exaggerates his lines heavily. It is very funny to listen to. Anyways, back to the statue. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the statue more up close. I am going to zoom in here, so be prepared. We are going to zoom in, and we are going to raise up, and then zoom in just a little. Oh, well, I guess I can't do that. That's fine. That will be perfect where it is. Anyways, getting back to the statue itself, if you take a look here, you can see more of that detail up close. There are definite dark lines showing all the musculature. You can see parts of his spine right here. Very muscular Spider-Man. This is what I'm referring to with the veining. I don't know if you can see that very well on camera, but there is veining right there, very prominent on his back, and very subtle on the top of his head here. Now, if we go a little bit further, let's go a little bit further down the statue, and let's get a little bit more into the base. So if we get into the base here, we can definitely see these little columns. Now, these pieces are removable. They are all color-coded, and they also have certain shapes to them. I don't know how well you can see that, but there is an obvious trapezoid shape, and that is aimed in a specific direction, so you can only put it on one way. Now, Spider-Man himself is also removable. I am having a tough time removing him, which is a good representation of how well put together the statue is, because the magnets are so strong, it is really difficult to remove some of these pieces. These pieces could easily be tipped over, so I would be careful with those. However, nearest the bottom, you can see there's a lot of these pieces, also with shapes, color-coded to their slots, and very well detailed, I'd say. And they give that nice click. If you can hear that click in a moment when I put this piece back on, we're gonna hear this click real quick. It's a beautiful click. And that click is something some collectors such as I really enjoy. See, this one was harder to take out. It's black on the inside here, and it's a nice blue shading on the outside where it is most exposed. And if we take a look at the bottom here, what we will find, I'm going to go ahead and change the direction of this real quick, and we will be right back to take a closer look at the very bottom of the base. Now here we are back, and so making that adjustment to the height of the stand, What you can see in front of you is the skeletal form of this lady. I don't know if this is supposed to be representative of a specific person or if it's just a design, if it's just a detail in general. But this woman here is clearly wearing a cloak of some kind, and they're a skeleton, and it is a bit creepy, but that's the point. It's to give you that mortality, that mood and the mortality of the piece, how life and death is truly a thing in the Marvel Universe, not just villains fighting heroes and breaking stuff along the way. Whereas you can see here, you have the living version of said woman. Now, if you can tell, there is a blue shading on top of the entire piece, and on top of that, there's a green highlight all the way around these edges, on the tops of these pieces, up here a little bit, over there. Every edge, sort of like the blue lighting with the top of the piece, there is a green highlight mixed in with a blue color for the parts on the edges of the stone. Gives it that light exposure feeling. It might be oxidization of the stone itself, such as the Statue of Liberty oxidized and turned green. That might be what we're seeing here, or it might just be a color choice to add the creepier vibe to the rest of the piece. Now in the back here, you can see it is broken down still, and maybe you can see a little bit better. There's a skull face right here with its eyes closed inside the sockets. There is a hand of a human form, and there's bits and pieces of what might have been. And there's a lot of these beautiful details throughout the piece, and you could even see, if you were to remove that piece, there's even more detail hidden down below. Now if we come over here, you can see some cracks, more details, the symbiote wrapping around, more symbiote wrapping around, and we're back to the other form. Now it is simple yet effective. This is a beautiful piece. The way I suggest displaying it is just like that. You get the front portion of Spider-Man and you get both versions of that female. If you prefer to see him from behind, you can do that as well, and you still have beautiful detail. All around, every single angle is a good angle to display this piece. Now, what else can I say other than this is an absolutely incredible work of art. Now, if you would like this piece, it is still available on Sideshow Collectibles website. I suggest going there first before purchasing from a second-hand source. The reason I say that is sometimes when you purchase second-hand, there could be defects that they notice that you do not notice, and they're not going to tell you because even though they should, it's not false advertising to sell you a statue knowing that even when you buy it from the retailer, there can always be defects when they're hand painted and packaged such as this in the styrofoam shipped. Lots of things can occur, including pieces not fitting properly on the statue due to molding errors. I would always suggest Sideshow first. The customer service is absolutely up to par in my personal opinion with my personal experience. Now, if you would like to leave some comments down below as to how you would personally display this piece, I would love to know your opinion down in the comments below. As I said, I prefer this angle right here. I prefer that because when it's facing the shelf this way, it will be at the far right corner, so I will see it from this angle. However, when I look directly at it, I will see both sculpts of the females at the bottom. I will see a bit of the breaking points of the piece. I will see the better looking side of the piece, the symbiotes wrapping around, and the best angle of Spider-Man for me personally. The building quality is very nice. The color coding is absolutely helpful in every conceivable way. I do not have a single problem with this piece. The price is absolutely worth its value, and I do not see any other reason. I don't see any reason to say no. If you like this video, please leave a comment down below, like the video, and subscribe to my channel. This will be the more constant of my videos. They won't be too often, but when they are, you will get quality and nothing less. If you have any suggestions, again, please leave them down below. I do take everybody's opinions seriously, and everyone will be treated with absolute respect. I do not have anything criticizing to say to people in the comment section. It just feels unprofessional. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all of your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and please collect what you love.